We live in a timeline right now to where a canceled manga can get an anime adaptation 7 or 8 years later. And I'm not talking about just like any standard canceled manga. I'm talking about a canceled manga that literally only had 19 chapters. We're talking about a series that wasn't really able to get its boots off the ground and be able to really develop and expand upon its world like it probably could have. It was canceled very early on in its life cycle. And so the fact that Black Torch has gotten an official anime announcement is definitely surprising, not just me, but I think the entire anime community. Because you know what this does? You know what this announcement actually does at this point? It basically means stuff like this is possible. That we might actually be able to get a Red Hood anime adaptation. And it doesn't just stop there. I mean, there is a very high chance, a high possibility, basically, that we could theoretically get, like, for instance, not just Red Hood, but a bunch of other series that has been canceled over the years actually getting an anime adaptation. Because this is what this does. Like, this opens the door for that. If Black Torch is received in a very positive light, and it's able to expand upon the original source and go beyond the original source, then this is probably the future of canceled manga. It's very, very likely. So, before I get ahead of myself, let's talk about a few things. So basically, the author of the series, Takaki, he apparently had like a brief little interview. He talked about, the situation with Black Torch, how, he was surprised that Black Torch got an anime, but also talking about what he's been doing behind the scenes. So Takaki is the author of Black Torch, as you could guess. Going to, his actual page here, you can see what he, has worked on over the years, and for the most part, it looks like, as an author, he doesn't really have anything that, more or less has been extremely popular. So I think that overall Takaki is someone that does have a lot of ideas, but it seems like he's not been able to really step into the mainstream or get really a massive community that backs him up. But it seems like at long last, Takaki was given a chance, and we have an anime adaptation on the horizon for Black Torch. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent here about this situation with Black Torch. I haven't thought about this series in a very, very long time. Like, it has been a very long time since I even thought about Black Torch. Because, once again, we gotta look at, like, when this was canceled. Like, this is a canceled manga. It was canceled in 2018 of July, okay? That's such a long time ago. Like, it is years prior to even COVID, okay? The landscape of just the anime and manga industry is just so vastly different than what it was then, that it's just like, I cannot believe how long ago this was at this point. Like, to put this in perspective, Black Torch was around and got canceled before even Demon Slayer got its anime, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that I am pretty shocked to see this series finally step back into the limelight again for how long it's been, and it's being met with quite a reception. There is some people more or less questioning the decision-making, but a lot of people now are a little bit excited for the future, because what this theoretically does mean is, like I've already pointed out, we might be able to get canceled manga turned into anime adaptations, and I think this is a really interesting tipping point for the anime and manga industry. So let's segue into that. So basically, there's been a lot of manga. I mean, just these four alone really kind of showcase that, but there's been a lot of manga over the years that has been fundamentally neutered / canceled before they really got off the ground to be something amazing. And one series I will never really forgive Shonen Jump for canceling is Red Hood. Red Hood had so much potential. Like, legitimately, it is something that was about fairy tales, these grim, dark fairy tales. It was by an actual assistant of Horikoshi Sensei that worked on My Hero Academia. It had a lot of potential. There was a lot of things about the series that really stood out, and the final chapters of the manga hinted at the overarching story that the author obviously had planned. And it was very sad to see the way the story was done, because there was definitely heavy potential for the manga to be insane, like actually insane, a long-standing series. But Shonen Jump as a magazine is very axe happy, trying to speed run series, get them to have the dopamine hit within 5 chapters. If you don't, the series is basically running towards its conclusion, aka it's going to be canceled. So there's been a lot of canceled manga over the years, and a lot of people I think have seen this. Some of their favorite series have gotten canceled because Shonen Jump just doesn't allow them to breathe. And it's one of the big reasons why I really hold back of starting a lot of new manga, mainly in Weekly Shonen Jump, is because of just how cancel ban happy they are. For instance, they bring the axe down and it's done, so to speak. So it's made me a little bit I guess, distance myself from Weekly Shonen Jump, but the fact that Black Torch theoretically got an anime, this does open the door up for this. So I do hope that the direction Black Torch gets, the staff and everything that's working on it, it's really good, and it is received with a lot of praise, because then we have a whole new category of stories that could be touched upon and adapted and expanded upon. Like, this could be the future, honestly, because it's like, typically when a manga came to a dead end, that was it. That was game over, so to speak, for the author. But if the author somehow could make a deal or a contract with an animation studio, maybe their story can continue onward past that. Like, let's think about Bleach. Bleach is a pretty good example. Obviously, it wasn't outright canceled, I would say, but it was definitely rushed towards its conclusion. But that's a completely different topic. But what I'm saying is that Tite Kubo, he has been heavily working with the studio that animates Bleach, and he's been trying to make Bleach better than what it was from the manga, expand upon it, adding content, lore, and stuff, and it really seems like anime as a medium at the moment is being used more as to expand upon the original source and make it actually better than what it could have been. And in this case, that's what's theoretically happening with Black Torch. I mean, the interview that we see here is basically the author saying this, like the actual new Black Torch has been brought to life now with voices, sounds, movement, and color, and then, saying it's going to be what people recognize, but it's obviously going to be a lot more, and if it's popular, I could definitely see maybe the manga even getting to come back. It's definitely a possibility. I also like what the author says here, battles, cats, and fies, aka, he's talking about this is a female main character within Black Torch, by the way, so, you know exactly what he means by that. But, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. This was really crazy news that came out. I've been meaning to talk about this yesterday, but there was more pressing matters, a video I had to make. But, yeah, we're getting canceled manga into anime adaptations. What would you like to see as a canceled series turned into an anime? Like, be honest, I'm legitimately curious to see what you guys think. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.